So now that you know your techniques, I'm going to show you how to achieve a beautiful landscape using just one color. I have done this before with watercolors, and I've used some bright, vibrant colors, and I've also used some cool, more calm colors. So I'm going to show you how you can achieve the same look using coffee. So I'm going to take my brush, I'm going to make sure that it's nice and clean. And then I am going to pour a little bit of coffee on a plate because I want to start with a really light color. When we do a landscape, we want to always start from the background and then work our way up towards the foreground. So I'm just adding lots of water to make this a really nice light brown. And then I'm going to take my brush, and about halfway up, I'm going to create like a soft mountain landscape. And you don't have to go all the way down because we are going to cover this section with another layer of color. So just enough to where you know that you're safe, you're not going to see white space in between the different layers. And if you're scared about getting a dark line that dries that you'll see underneath, you can tilt your paper up and keep adding that clean water so that it fades. So now I want to make sure that this is 100% dry before I start going into my next layer, or you're gonna get that wet on wet effect where your different layers start blending and mixing together. So we don't want that for this project. We really wanna make sure that they stay separate. So now that this layer is dry, we can go ahead and add a little bit more coffee to our plate to darken that color up a bit. And now we can go ahead, we want to mix that in with the water, and then we can go ahead and add our next layer. So I'm really just going to copy that kind of same line that I did, but now it's going to be a little bit darker. All right, and once that layer is done, I know it's hard to be patient, but we do need to let this fully dry before we move on to the next step. So now that your second layer is dry, and if you would like to get it to dry faster, you can use a hair dryer. But now we are going to start in with our darkest layer. You can add a layer after this if you want to get really dark, but this is going to be our darkest layer for kind of like the whole background. So I'm just using the pure black coffee. If you start to see some pooling of your watercolor, you can tilt it and then so it pools at the bottom, and just use your paper towel to kind of soak up those pools at the bottom. That way you're not ruining your artwork, you're just gathering it at the base of your painting. And now we let this part dry. So now that this last section is dry, if you want, you can end here, or if you want to take it a step further, I have added some pure coffee grounds in this cup, and I'm going to try and make the most opaque, meaning you can't see through it, color coffee that I can. So I'm gonna add just a touch of this coffee in here and try and make it really dark. And then you can add details for your foreground. And that could be grass, that could be flowers, anything that you kind of want to add coming off from the bottom, from the corner. And so this brings us back to that other technique, the glazing, or dry brush if you want to dry off your brush and just get more texture to your strokes. So as things get closer to us, they get a lot darker and they have a lot more detail. So this exercise right here is a great way to practice your watercolor pigment to water ratio, to get those lights and those darks, and to also kind of help you with your background, middle ground, and foreground. And then once that is dry, you can go ahead and take the tape off of your edges. And having these nice crisp edges on the side of your paper does give it a more just finished, completed, and professional look. And if you did do this lesson, please send me your results. I cannot wait to see them. Thank you so much. So if you are doing this lesson at home and you have regular watercolors, it is going to give you a more brighter, vibrant range to work with. But I mean, coffee looks just as great, like completed, and it's kind of fun to experiment with something new, something that we don't do in school. If you have did the work, please send it to me. I'd love to see what you all are creating at home, even if it's just something you created on your own. I've been getting some emails of artworks that students just create, and I always love getting them. So please enjoy your time at home, stay healthy, wash your hands. I hope you all are safe and you're with loved ones and they are all safe and healthy too. All right.